Chain sag is how much the chain is going from straight across on the sprockets to sagging down. It's basically what they call sag. If I were to take a straight edge, this distance from the bottom of the straight edge to the chain is chain sag. Now there's a maximum spec and a minimum spec on chain sag. Basically, the rule of thumb really comes down to a very simple rule. First, measure the distance between the two centers. In this case, I measure 14 inches. There's no real reason to carry this down to the 100th of an inch. 14 1/4 would be accurate enough. But 14 inches from center to center. Now, I'll also determine is it mainly horizontal or mainly vertical. If it's vertical, the rule of thumb is minimum sag, minimum movement, which is up and down, both directions. Minimum movement would be 2% of the distance from here to here. For horizontal, it's 4% from the distance from here to here. So we may take this measurement, since this is a horizontal, we take the distance of 14 inches, multiply it by 4%, and that is the minimum amount of movement allowed. Then we divide that by 2 to get the minimum sag, which is just how much this chain sags down from the horizontal. And we go ahead and calculate that out. Now we'll go ahead and measure the chain sag. Change movement, actually. Simply lay a ruler across. First of all, we need to get the allowable measurement. So you can see from here, center to center in the hubs, this is running about 14.5 inches. From 14.5 inches, since it's horizontal, for minimum sag, we're going to measure 14. We're going to multiply 14.5 times 0.04, and for maximum sag, we're going to multiply 14.5 times 0.06. So for this, I usually pull out my handy-dandy calculator, which in most cases for you all is the phone. Let me go ahead and calculate this out. Now what I got from that calculation is about 0.56 inches for minimum sag, or 3/4 of an inch for maximum sag. Now for 3/4 of an inch maximum sag, that means we have ourselves 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of this to the top of this. So I should be able to move my scale down to about the 3/4 inch mark and just touch the top of the chain. If it doesn't touch but the chain sags below that, I have to pull the motor back. Motor assembly goes back on adjustment. So the way to do that is to lower the motor. Because on a base like this, and the motor lowers, tightening up. You can probably start to see the tightening process here. A little easier to see when I have a ruler up here to let you all see my background, how much tighter that chain gets. Screw it down. And over the top of this, I push down to about the 3/4 mark, which is right here. And if I can push down, actually 3/8, if I push down 3/8, I've met my minimum sag or maximum allowed sag. If I push down any further than that, I'm past it. It's a little too loose. Right now it feels like it's just about 1/2 an inch, so I got a little bit more to go. But I do want some sag. Now I have to go at least 1/4 inch, which would be this much from the top. That much is a minimum. So you don't want to be too tight either, or else the chain has a good chance of breaking under stress. So I want at least 1/4 inch and no more than 3/8 of an inch in sagging. This is still a little loose, not by much. So I do take some time and adjust down. Now I go ahead a third time, lay it in, put my ruler on top, and I just barely get 3/8 of an inch. That's good sag right there, and we're nicely adjusted for full running. There's still some pull to it, which is good. You want to be able to pull some, not a whole lot. That's about the max amount of pull I want, but I don't want to be much tighter than that either. This is going to be looser than a belt and running.